the Schroders CEO, Richard Oldfield. Good morning, sir. Why are you selling?
Well, Guy, I'm going to take us back a second. So there were two announcements this morning. The first one was our results, and it's important as context to the deal. Our operating profit was up 25% to 757 million. EPS is up 39%. This is a great business. It's in a really strong foundation. But what we are doing here is creating this powerhouse of asset and wealth active management. It's going to have an unparalleled breadth of public to private capabilities. And at 2.5 trillion, it gives us the firepower to actually invest in our business and make ourselves more relevant to clients. It's a business combination that's almost perfect on paper. We have total complementarity. There's no overlap in geographies, really. There's very little overlap in products. So we're about growth. We're not about taking money out of the system. We actually drive this business and create something really powerful. And the cultures fit, the heritage, the 300 years together. So it's not just, you mentioned our two centuries of history. Nuveen comes with more than 100 years of history as well. And that actually helps us have very similar cultures. And as you mentioned, Guy, this is all about the City of London. We put that right at the heart of the deal, making commitments to the UK and London.
Richard, did they call you? Did you call them? Where did the conversation start? How did it go? Kind of just give me a bit of colour here.
Well, as you'd expect, of the last year, I've been talking to many of my peers around the world about how they respond to the industry challenges that we've got. And what became clear as I met Bill is that we had businesses that were very similar, and we discussed the complementarity, and that led to them approaching us with an offer earlier in this year.
Richard, good morning to you. So you mentioned there that this is about having the firepower to invest. Would it be right to say that AI has changed the landscape and the requirement to invest in that technology to find that an opportunity rather than a threat means that it's better done with a larger business? Is that one of the drivers?
Well, that's definitely one of the drivers, because the scale of this operation will be able to create more capacity to invest in our business. And it's not just about AI. Actually, when you think about our industry, it's about tokenization and distributed ledger technology. It's about reshaping our industry, about different distribution models. And yes, it's about AI in terms of how we do research, how we do portfolio construction, how we access wealth clients. So I think there's a whole range of technologies here that are going to transform our industry as other industries. And we need to be right at the forefront of that change.
You talked about making commitments around the City of London, Richard, and we read in our stories this morning that London is going to be the headquarters of the non-US business. What do those commitments look like, though? How watertight are they?
Well, they're all listed in the 2.7 offering document, and I think Nuveen have been pretty clear. London will be the non-US headquarters for at least 5 years. There are commitments about jobs over the subsequent 2-year period. We'll have about, to put this in context for you, Anna, there's 3,100 people in the combined group right here in London, and that's the largest location of any office for Nuveen, and it would be about a third of the overall workforce. So this is a big, sizable presence here in London. We're not stepping back at all from our commitment to support the UK capital markets, be at the centre of how policies are formulated, be at the centre of how people come to market. So I think the commitments are very watertight and they're very real. And I think it just shows the size of the UK and London in the overall group.
Richard, what are your commitments on jobs? Should we expect that there will be jobs that will go as a result of this acquisition?
Well, Tom, look, it's a great question, and lots of people are asking that. But there's a very firm commitment that there won't be job losses from this. Go back to why we're doing the deal. It's complementarity, right? We don't have overlapping investment capabilities. We're taking the strength and depth of Nuveen's private markets capabilities, fixed income and US distribution, and we're putting that with our public markets heritage, some of our specialist capabilities in private markets, and our UK, European and Asia distribution. So there isn't an awful lot of challenges here in terms of overlapping headcount. So there is a very firm commitment that people will keep their jobs, except for some PLC functions. Obviously, we won't need that going forward. And of course, we already had some plans from a transformation perspective. But I think it's a really firm commitment to keep jobs here, to keep talent here, to keep capabilities here in London and in the other investment centres that we've got across the world at Schroders.
What do you think it tells us about the broader cost structure pressures for active fund managers?
Well, I think what we've done really well over the last 12 months is show that we can actually take our own medicine, Tom, right? So we've been through a transformation program. We've taken more than £75 million out of our P&L successfully this year. That's allowed us to drive the revenue up. So there's a lot that we can do to manage our own cost pressures as an industry. But as Anna talked about, there are new areas where we need to invest, where we need to develop new products. And that is best achieved when we actually have scale and broader capabilities for our clients.
Richard, was Bill the only conversation you had, Bill Huffman, the CEO of Nuveen? Did you talk to anybody else? Were there others in the bidding for the business? Would you expect somebody else potentially to come in? This is an interesting asset. Is there possibly somebody else that could be interested in it? I'm just curious as to how this developed and why you've ended up with Nuveen rather than somebody else.
So this business has never been up for sale, and that's quite important because we are confident in our own plan, Guy, and actually we have conviction that we can deliver value for shareholders. When this offer was made, it comes from an organisation that I respect enormously. It comes from an organisation that will drive value for our clients, for our people, and actually it is a price that I think is super attractive to our shareholders. At 17 times 2025 earnings, we're compared very well with similar transactions. We have got a premium on spot, I think, of 34%. We are at a 61% over a 12-month VWAP. So I feel really confident. Sorry, it's a 30% premium to spot. It's 34% over the last 30-day VWAP. So this is really attractive for our shareholder base. And what it does is it crystallises immediately the value in our organic plan, as well as actually the future benefits that we think we can achieve through that combination with Nuveen. There is support from our principal shareholder group. So that's sort of locked at 41% of the shares.
OK. Can I ask you, you mentioned AI. Are you clear on what AI will do to wealth management, asset management and research? Because the market seems to be wrestling with this question.
Well, I don't think any of us have the actual answer, Anna, and I think AI will change the industry, not just wealth management, but asset management as well, in ways that today we can't see. But we're already using it here at Schroders. We're using it in terms of how we connect with our clients. We're using it in terms of how we provide research. We're using it in terms of portfolio construction. So it's already changing the industry, and I think sometimes people think we haven't been changing because of AI over the last few years, but that has been happening. We'll continue to see change, but people also want to see people in wealth management, and that's a really important thing we've got to remember.
Rich, before we let you go, are you staying on as CEO or moving on elsewhere?
I am. I'm really excited by this deal. Really, we're going to drive value for our clients, for our people. I think this is a great opportunity. Okay. So I'm committed to being here. I'll be the CEO of Schroders still, as from an international business perspective.